What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Jay Handy. Here we are back into the room where we install the ceiling fan light. I'm going to show you how to run that third wire. Small disclaimer, I am not an electrician. I've talked to one of my real good buddies. He likes to be called the CO, the circuit overseer. He works as a head electrician. So we're going to start by taking our flathead screwdriver, a little jiggle, gently wiggle out the light switch. Now we take our tester. This is the hot, both of these. So I believe it's this one. No beep. So that was a correct breaker. So now we can disconnect the wires from the terminals and we don't have to worry about getting shocked. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit more work to disconnect the actual wire from the terminal because a wire is looped around the screw. See the little hook? That actually loops or hooks around the screw. So that's why it's a little difficult to take off. But now that we got it off, we'll start working on the other three. So that's one way to do it. The other way you can do it is simply cut the wire and leave the tabs on. But since we're going to use the switch again, we're gonna do it this way. Okay, now that we have the power off and the switch disconnected, we're gonna go ahead and bring the lamp down. It's just like one big giant screw. So we got to turn this to the left. And it comes right down. Again, at the top, there's 4 screws. Only 2 screws are going to come all the way out. The other 2 screws are just going to be loosened. And now we're going to loosen only the 2 that are remaining. Maybe less than halfway out, about a quarter. Now those screws are loosened. We turn that. And if you recall, this bracket has a hook. We're gonna hang it from the hook. Now that they're disconnected, we'll move on to disconnecting the ground wire, the green wire. Now we've exposed our 2 wires. And if I give them a little tug, I should see the wires move on the wall. So what I'm doing right now is I'm stripping the wires because I'm preparing to tie them all together and make my pull. So you can start by hand and then you incorporate the third one. Then if it gets too difficult, you take the linesman and you twist them all together. And what you end up doing is basically making a braid. We're gonna braid it to that. We've connected our 3 wires to the one. Now we're gonna throw some black tape on this so that none of the rough edges get jammed anywhere in the line. 1 wire, the white wire, I'm gonna pull that through first, leaving the second black wire. We're going to pull the black wire, and I'm gonna focus so you can see it going into the switch box, and hopefully it comes out through the ceiling. This is the black wire that I'm going to be pulling from the ceiling outlet box. And as you see that white tape, that has the 3 wires. So I'm gonna pull a little bit on it so that you guys can see it go in. Now, every once in a while, we'll just have to play with it so it can get through. Okay, as you can see, these are gonna be our 3 new wires that are going to run from the switch box to the ceiling. So the pull is going well. I got up to maybe the last 8 inches And as I gave it that final tug to come through, it unraveled and disconnected itself. I'm about to try a little trick. You stick a vacuum into the line and then you feed a string, and that string will act as the guide in the original wire and try to pull on the 3. I ended up running another brand new thicker wire. Now I'm gonna start feeding in our 3 new wires, but this time I'm gonna run it in reverse. We're gonna go from the outlet box to the switch. All right, so just a little finagling. There we go. So I got it through, and the noise you hear, besides me breathing hard, is the pulling of the wire. I'll be quiet so you can hear. So little by little. Okay, so right now I got about 3 feet. Here's my end, and guess what? There's our switch. Here's our single wire. Oh, look at that. See white tape? Bam! Look at that. Our 3 brand new wires. I prevailed. So, as I'm here trying to fix and make better what was left to chance before, I'm reminded again of my grandfather, who is responsible partly, mostly, for my knack for fixing things around the house. Funny story, he used to take the son-in-laws, my uncles, and even my dad got to be a part of this little prank where my grandfather would somehow or other touch a wire and kind of ground himself, and then tell one of the son-in-laws, "Hey, come over here, I need a hand." And as they would get close, my grandfather would touch them and would zap them. And all the son-in-laws, it's a story that all the son-in-laws, they would get a little shock from my grandfather. So again, we are working with the power off. I love my grandfather dearly, but I don't want to mess around with working with the power on. All right, boys and girls. So what I have just done, after staring at this for a long time, I figured it out. So I had an extra wire and I couldn't figure what I got an extra wire for. But I figured it all out. So our neutral wire, I'm just tucking it in right now if you're wondering what I'm doing, why I got my finger in here. The power is off, so you don't have to worry about seeing any sparks, hopefully. Again, the white wire is the neutral. So I've tied all the neutrals together. The neutral does not go on the switch. So that was where I was a little bit confused. Again, I am not an electrician. So we're going to hook up the hot wire on the hot side, or as it says on the switch, the common. Now we don't want to break this tab. If we break this tab, that means I have to run the hot wire here and here. But we're not going to do that. We're only hooking up one hot on one side, and then the power will flow because this tab is not broken. The power will flow to this side, so we only need one side hooked up. This is a Phillips screwdriver. So I'm going to tighten this down. Now, the 2 on the other side is marked B1 and A1. Now one's the light and one's the fan. So we're gonna have a switch for the light and a switch for the fan. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the power. But before I hook it up, what we want to do is, as we tighten, we're going to tighten clockwise. So I'll make a little loop here on the main power so that it goes clockwise. Little clockwise loop. And the reason why we want that clockwise loop is because as we tighten it down, we want it to curl so it's nice and snug. That goes in like that. And we take our Phillips and we tighten it down. La-da-da. It'll grab the wire and spin it and lock it in place. Boom. We could actually take the tip of the cutter and same thing, we want to loop it clockwise. Loop it clockwise. So we put this on like so. Get our Phillips. One more. Clockwise. Clockwise loop. Again, the power's off. Please, please, please make sure the power's off. If you're not comfortable doing this, please call the certified electrician. And if you don't have a certified electrician or you don't trust those guys because you don't know them, if you live in the Chicagoland area, leave me a message down in the comment section and I can get you in contact with the CO. We got the light hooked up, the fan hooked up. I'm going to turn the camera around, point it at the fan. I'm going to go turn on the power and we'll see if I did it right. We have no smoke, no sizzles, no crackles, no fires. Now let's test the fan and the light. Switch number 1. Boom, we got a light. Beautiful. Switch number 2. Look at that, folks. We got the fan. All right. We did it. Just as a precaution, I know some guys don't do it. I do it. I like to do it, especially when I know there's other wires in the box. We're going to take the tape and we're going to cover the screws. We don't want them touching other wires or the side outlet box and causing a short. So just take some tape and wrap it up a couple times. Now what you don't want to do either is when you're putting the tape on, you want to make sure that you don't touch it like this, because if you touch it like this, you're going to give yourself a nice little shock. Because you kind of feed the wires, but you kind of want to bend them in a manner that it's like a spring. Feed it in the box a little bit. That's close enough for me. So now I'll use the Phillips, put it on the screw, and we'll just put a couple of turns in it. All right, now we'll do the bottom one. Doesn't have to be super tight. Just center it till the little ears hit the wall, and we're done. Fan off, light on, fan on. This is working great. There's a little hot, we'll turn the light off. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. It's all right. It's okay. Maybe I need to change something. Leave a comment. Special thanks again to the CO. Remember, you're never going to learn if you don't try. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like. And we'll see you on the next video.